This was an unplanned video. So I don't even know if this is going to be a video or not. Somebody contacted me, wanted to know if I buy only R title vehicles, and I said, you know, I buy other ones if they're, you know, if I get a good deal on them. So this person's moving to Florida, and they offered it to me for a really good price because it needs a little bit of work. I said I think it needs suspension work. These are also not car enthusiast people, that so I don't think it needs suspension with 135,000 miles on it, but it's a clean title and it's a nice car and it's very close to my house. So I asked them if they would let me bring it to my house, put it on my list to look at it before I made an offer, and they agreed. So right now I'm riding there. I'm gonna get it, come back to the house, and we're gonna look it over and possibly have another very quick project. We'll probably finish this one before the cruise, but yeah, let's go check it out. Cookie? See, these people have two other cars, so they kind of neglected this one. I just looked at the Walmart service sticker on the window. They had the oil changed at 118,000. It now has 135,000 miles on it, and the oil is below the low level. It does run good. The engine sounds fine. So I'm gonna top this thing off with oil, but I'm not even sure what year. It's like an 11 or a 12 Kia Optima, and it's one of the upper trim models, but man, this thing is way rougher than I thought. I don't even know that I'm going to get this, because I'm going to offer lower, way lower than I was going to. I'm not even going to discuss prices. Obviously they have kids, that's why you see food in the back window, the front window, and stuff in the carpet that I don't even know if I can get out. There's this white paint must not hold up that great, and you can see it's peeling off really good around the window. Up here, that's a big spot. Window trim missing. The power steering makes the wheel kind of jerk back and forth. Engine bay is very dirty. Coolant's up to level. Like I said, the engine doesn't sound bad. I'm going to add some oil and see if it sounds any different. The dipstick, it's pretty, the fluid's pretty dark. I'll just tell you that. This dipstick stained, and you can see where the level is at. There you go. There's the low level, and it's like halfway between the low and the bottom of the dipstick. Looks like they spilled oil. I can see a bunch on top of the oil, right, or on top of the engine right there. Yeah, that was spilled, or this cap's leaking. One of the two, which isn't that bad.
This is the model with the panoramic sunroof. It's the EX model, which is like upper scale model. Has the dual exhaust, heated and cooled seats, leather seats. Air conditioning does work. I didn't feel any suspension damage or anything like that, but the radio doesn't work, which years ago they were having a problem with it, and I looked at it for them. I thought maybe it was a fuse, and it's actually just the radio blew out, and I think Kia covered it for them, but now this one's not working. So I would go full aftermarket. I wouldn't even mess with a stock stereo on this after having a second one go out. But like I said, it runs and drives fine. Let's add a little bit of oil to it, and I'm going to put this thing up in the air and check out the underside and the suspension and stuff. But yeah, let me top this thing off. Okay, so it took a quart and a half, kind of cleaned that cap up a little bit, cleaned around it. I'm not putting a lot of stuff into this right now. I just want to, you know, make sure that I'm getting a deal on it. I know they need to get rid of this, so I think even a low offer they're going to bite on, because they don't want to have to drive it to Florida. In the shape it's in, I wouldn't want to drive it to Florida either, especially with that steering knuckle the way it is right now. I'm gonna get this thing up in the air. Maybe I can get a better look at it. Got a side skirt tab broke here. Just noticed that. Couple more dents in this quarter panel. Didn't see those. Bumper's cracked here. Did they run over anything? I'm looking. I'm just now glancing at it. This thing is rough, man. Okay, so this thing's covered in skid plates in the front. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this down off of here, maybe. There's some bolts, some clips. Bolts across here, bolts in the center, bolts across here. Let's get this back plate off. I don't think we really need a... Oh, you have to pull the front one down to get... I can just pull this one down, get this back one off. So the front one, all you're going to be looking at your radiator and stuff. I don't see any leaks. I don't see any, like, damage underneath. Suspension is not that bad. There's not a lot of rust. There's this control arm. Has a little bit of scaly rust on it, but that's a sticker right there, like a dampening sticker. That's just surface rust in the paint. It's actually not too bad. Yeah, that's pretty solid. This side, same thing. It's got these stickers on it. It's like a dampening rubber, something like that. Not too bad underneath. I need to get a pry bar, check the suspension. I just, like, grabbed a hold of it, shook it, and I'm not feeling any play in anything here. Nothing like that. So, like I said, I need to check that steering out, so I'm going to pull that skid plate down so I can see the rack a little bit better. I'm not feeling anything loose down here. And the clicking noise I'm getting is up there at the steering box. So the only other thing I'd like to do is maybe pull that plate off in the center, that plastic trim, and look up underneath there and see. I'm pretty sure it's a steering knuckle up there that has play in it, the way it feels. Well, the underside is fairly clean. There's a little bit of a, you know, an oil seepage back here, but it's not even dripping off back of the pan here. Not that bad. Everything looks okay up in here. I don't know, does Walmart use paint markers like that? Because whoever did that last put a paint mark on that, like a torque mark. I've never seen that before. And they also put one on the oil filter. And look at the oil filter. There's rust on it. It goes to show you how long that oil filter has been in there. So this thing is in desperate need of an oil change. I can tell you that right now. But nothing concerning here besides that. And then you can't see any of the steering linkage because they have that plastic cover over it, and you have to drop the basically you got to drop the subframe to get that out. So I saw all I need to see underneath here. I'm gonna get inside the interior and see if I can find that loose linkage up there at the steering box. There's a crack in the bumper right here. There's also lots of this thing is dirty. Now the last concerning thing I have was the electronic steering. I was hoping there wasn't a problem with the electronic steering. I don't think there is. When I have it running, it clicks when I turn direction, and it kind of pulls when it clicks. Is because there's free play in there, and that electric motor is going through that free play and clicking on the other side. Well, listen, the car's not running. It's not on right now. And it's up in here that I hear it. So I'm going to drop this plate right here. All right, so I messed with this, and now it's even more of a concern. Right there, you can see that that's the power assist right there for the electric steering. The click is coming from inside of that. There is a steering knuckle back under here, as you can see, and that click is not coming from that. It's coming from that steering box. So something inside of there is loose. And that's well, there's another knuckle down there. But the sound's definitely coming from up here. Let me do some research on the internet. Let me hit the Googles, because I'm sure this is a common issue. And see, so it clicks a lot when you hit bumps, like a lot. So let me see. It'd be nice if there's another shaft inside of there that you can just replace, but I don't know. Let me look it up, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so what this problem is a very common issue. A lot of you were probably screaming while I was doing the video. On the electric motor, on this power steering shaft, there's a motor that sits on there like this. You have to drop the whole steering column. You take the motor out, and there's a rubber coupler in there that meshes the teeth from the actual steering arm and the teeth from the motor. And they just disintegrate completely. And now it's metal on metal, and that's what you're hearing in there. And it's honestly not even safe to continue driving it like that, because at any point, if you've driven it like that for long periods of time, that metal can wear in there, and that motor could lock the steering up. So honestly, that is the most concerning thing, but it's fixable. I threw him an offer. I'm going to take it back to him now, and it honestly was probably a pretty generous offer for the things that are wrong with this. I don't know if I went over it. The radio's non-functional, but here, you can hear it in there. Well, looks like we got ourselves another project. This one, there's a small possibility it might need an engine. Although it runs fine, they were adding oil to it about every 3 to 4 months. So, that's also could just be that the oil has degraded that much from them not having it changed, which they said they had it changed regularly. I don't really believe that, but might put some thicker oil in it and see how it goes. Ashley's buying this one. Yep, it looks like it's gonna happen. I got the cash out. Probably not gonna get it for a couple days here yet. This is actually still midweek, and the only reason I'm off work today is because I've been dealing with kidney stones, and I have to go see the urologist today. So you guys don't need to hear about that agony. It's so much fun. You should try. Oh, this has to be cruise parts, and the cicada was on my box. You get out of here. Yeah. Why are you beeping at me? You jealous? Are you jealous? There's another one trying to get my package. What? Get out of here. Can't nobody tell me that you don't get a variety on Unwrecked, because we got a newer domestic, we got an older domestic, and we got a Korean car coming. Fasten your seatbelts, folks. Now, good thing now, I have these headlights, I can see what's bent. All the bolts are in this headlight. It looks like everything's lined up pretty good, you know, according to the fender here. I had to adjust this just a little bit, but the headlight bolted in. This one, as you can see, now you can see how far off it is. I got the bolt in up there, I got the bolt in down there, and this is the only bolt that's not in. So we can judge now where the headlight sits on where we need to get this to. This bracket's bent a little bit and it needs to go over, and I think it's going to need to come up once this gets bent forward. But we have it in the right position, because this is where I'm going to hook it to the lift. I'm going to hook it to the lift and we're going to pull that sucker back out. We're going to have to hammer on it some, but we'll get that thing straightened back out. I'm not going to do it today. But I also put LED bulbs in it, and I ordered these ones myself. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see how bright they are. They're adjustable. You can turn them in there, whatever. So, I guess we'll see what they look like. How about it? Now, I still have the plastics over them, so I'm just leaving that on there to protect it some. But these are high and low beams. This one I got. Move the boxes out of the way here. Get out of here. Get out of here! It looks pretty dang bright. And then, let's check the high beams on these suckers. Looks like there might need to be adjustment, but then it could also be that plastic film. Yeah, look pretty dang good. I'm gonna have to check those out once we get it done. And I went with the black housing. I like that better. Instead of having chrome up here, it's black there and black down around the bottom there. I just think that they look better on these than the white housing ones, or the chrome, I guess it is. Another package. I'm pretty sure this is that top piece there. I just ordered a brand new one because used ones were going for the same price as brand new ones. I couldn't find a white one, so brand new one's black. It'll go with the black headlights. Yes, there it is. It sure is. Check it out. Now, the trickiest part about this is the crash sensors on these. The way they put these on here, you can't get to the head of the screws. As you can see, they have like a reverse Torx on them that you can turn it from this side, and the nut is built into the crash sensor. So disconnect your battery when you do that, obviously. And you can get to the head of them if you go in through there, but that's not really a lot of room to get to them. So I'm going to see what we can do here. That's going to be fun because there's no holes in the front of this to get to those bolts. Also, just now noticed this. This comes with these horns right here. Mine aren't bent. They're not bent. Look like they're pretty dang straight. It's the piece that it's bolted to that's bent. But if need be, I mess that up while I'm trying to straighten things out. I can cut the spot welds and use this one off of here. You just have to take in consideration that there are some people that drive cars that just know absolutely nothing about them. So the key fobs were not working for this. They had one of them in the glove box, which allows you to start it when the batteries are dead. So lo and behold, you put new batteries in and everything works. So both remotes work for this. One of them is missing the switchblade key, or it's not a switchblade key, it's a pull out key. My key pulls out, but I don't. along with the steering component, which I found is a recall. I could have just taken this to Kia and had them fix that, but I honestly don't feel safe driving it like that. I know people do it, but whatever. I just don't. But along with that, the other really concerning thing is the service records. And I don't have any records. I don't have any, thing to base off of except for the rust that's on the oil filter and the fact that they were adding oil. There's one thing I want to check that would make this thing consume oil. So let's pop the hood, which to get to this steering component, all of this has to come out. And this has to come out to get the radio out, but I want to check something on that before I go to as deep as to take it out and replace it with an aftermarket unit. There's 3 fuses attached to that radio. We got to check those. The one thing I believe, and this goes for lots of vehicles, that may be the culprit for the burning oil, because this motor runs good. Get this off here. Which them adding oil regularly, it kind of explains the oil all around there. There's lots of dirt and crud in there. The PCV valve, known for going bad, routes back down here into the intake underneath here. I'm not very good with the camera right now, but it routes back into the intake underneath here. Let me go ahead and pull this off of here. Man, it's dirty. I need to get good power washing on this thing. Let me get this off of here and see how oily this looks right here. This is in fact the culprit. Right there, you can see the inside of that. Look how loose it is in here. See how it's just kind of jingling around in there? The PCV's valve purpose is to ventilate the crankcase, and it also is supposed to help separate the oil from the crankcase pressure. So when that is loose like that, it's free flowing. So it's just all the crankcase vapors are going straight through this, right into the intake, and it's burning them, and they're going right out the exhaust. So I did get high mileage seafoam treatment. We're going to do that on this. I'm going to dump a little bit into the crankcase to help clean that. I'm going to dump a little bit into the fuel tank, and then the rest we're going to do seafoam treatment through the intake. I'm going to do that on a different episode, but that'll help clean up the gunk that went in through the intake track. And then on top of this being a direct injection engine, it also does not help that oil's going in there and then burning, because it's just gunking up on the valves and stuff. So I did already order this because I was going to replace it regardless. But yeah, that they're supposed to have a rattle, but there's not supposed to just be floppy in there, and not it's supposed to seal that off. You're supposed to be able to blow through one direction and not the other. So I should not be able to blow from the intake side through. And I know you guys all want to see me blow something, so right through it. I can blow right through it. So that eases a little bit off my mind there. I was banking on this being the problem and it not needing a motor. I'm pretty sure this is the problem. Alright, got some of that stuff vacuumed out, so now when I pressure wash, I'm not going to be blowing stuff everywhere. I did just throw that back, didn't put the clip on it, but I threw that PCV valve back in just for now until the new one gets here. Parts are taking a little bit longer than normal right now to get. Slowly getting parts for that. You can see the bumper came today, top trim piece, and the bumper support came here. I'm not spot welding that in, but it comes with those brackets, so I'm going to drill the old ones off of that. Next big question is, do I keep this and sell the Scion, or do I keep the Scion? I honestly, it's tempting because this is an upscale model with a lot of options, and it's a nice car minus the paint. So what do you guys think? I mean, if the interior cleans up and ends up being a pretty nice vehicle, do we keep this? I just don't know. I don't know that I could sell the Scion. I like that car, and it's fun to drive. This is not going to be as fun to drive. It's an automatic. It's just not there. The fun, not. I guess the last thing before we end this video is I'm going to try to see if I can get this radio to work. There's 2 fuses in here, one out under the hood that have to do with the radio, but I'm hesitant to say that it's that because, oh, let me grab the key, son of a. So I'm hesitant to say that it's a fuse because when I turn the power on, the lights in the radio come on. So it's getting power. I just don't know. One thing I want to try is there's a reset on this. And I think it's right here in a CD player. It pushed in. So let me check a couple fuses here. Well, guys, this is a temporary fix. And I don't know which one did it. But the clock fuse is related to the radio, the navigation unit, and all that. There's also an amp fuse, and then there's the radio fuse. And I had them all pulled out. They're all fine. I put them back in. Guess what? You seeing it? You seeing it? So like I said, this is just a temporary fix. Whatever happened to this radio, it's bound to happen again. But it's now working. So I don't really know if I want to put an aftermarket unit in it right now. I guess we'll just have to see. I guess it depends on whether I'm keeping it or selling it. Well, now the radio worked and then it stopped working again already. So like I said, temporary fix. Yeah, it's already not working again. And then on top of that, it forgot the keys, the key fobs. Now I can't even get them to work, and I can't even start the car. And I can't get my code reader to even hook up to it because I can't get it. It's in like a security mode, so I can't even get it to do anything. Fun. Turns out it was kind of a false alarm. The battery for some reason was so low from me messing with the radio that it didn't even want to start the car. I had to hook a jumper pack to it, and it started. It's detecting the keys now. The ground terminal was a little bit corroded. I cleaned that up. That might help a little bit, but it might have. I don't know. With a low battery or a dead cell, it can make cars act all kinds of funky. But the radio's working again, so and the key fob's reading and the car moves. So I need to back this thing up. I need to back that. So there's plenty of content here. If you like this episode, please smash that like button. Consider subscribing. Hit that dislike button if your mom's car has a sticky back seat. And we'll see you on the next episode. Alright. Cats are. What are these two sleepyheads doing on the bed? Huh? Why are you on bed? What are you doing, ma'am? Excuse me, ma'am. She's on my side of the bed, and Stewie's on her side of the bed. And that's normally how it is, because she loves me, and he loves Ashley. Alright, don't want to bother these two. Good night.